So thank you everyone for joining. We do have some great webinars this year. Today we're going to start with the community engagement webinar. So we have Miranda Carvin and Tara Sanchez here to talk about that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to them. Keep in mind, if you're on the web, you can ask questions in that box on your bottom left if you do have any questions throughout the webinar. If not, you can also jot them down. We will have time for questions at the end.
Great. Can you hear me okay, Maria?
Yep, we sure can. We can hear you, Miranda. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our first webinar of 2019. Thank you guys for taking the time to join us today. I'm going to be talking about community engagement, ways you can engage with your community, and the benefits of doing so to you and your new business. Like Maria said, if you have any questions, you can send them in the chat function or take note of them. At the end of the webinar, I'm going to unmute everyone to go ahead and then open it up for questions. Okay, community, increasing your reach and your impact. So successful small businesses maintain a constant high level of engagement with their communities. So you really want to get out there and support the community that's supporting you. You know, a lot of the time, especially I see with our business, is members of the community like to see local businesses that are getting involved, either at events, through sponsorships, through joining local organizations. And then specifically, since we go out onto properties, I think it's great sometimes for local consumers, homeowners to meet face-to-face the owners of the local Lawn Doctor businesses so they can get to know you a little bit, since a lot of the times you guys go out to their homes, service their properties, all while, you know, they're not home. So I think it's really great for you guys to get out there and connect with the community. Using your business as a platform to help community groups that are interested in or have local marketing opportunities available will make an impact for not only you, but also those organizations that you are supporting. So today we're going to go through marketing tactics that are related specifically to the community engagement portion of your marketing plan. So that is getting involved with local sponsorships, joining local organizations, and then getting involved with local community events. Tara Sanchez on the brand marketing team, she works with our new franchisees on local sponsorships. So she's going to step in now to talk specifically about local sponsorships, and then I'll jump back in to talk about organizations and community events. Tara, if you just want to let me know when to click to the next one, just say next and I'll do that for you.
Sounds fantastic. Hey guys, thanks for participating. So sponsorships are a great way to increase the brand awareness, really drive that trust within your community. It's not a very expensive tactic, so the best thing about it is you can do multiple sponsorships, pop up in different areas if you have multiple territories. This is a way to really kind of get in all your different communities, your different neighborhoods, and just get your brand known. It's also another one where you don't always have to be there and be active within it. So it's kind of like you can do banners, things like that, where you don't have to put that much time into it. And we can go on to the next slide. So sports sponsorships is something that we can really easily do. They're not super expensive, and you can usually find the type of sponsorship that you would like to do, or you can even work with your schools or with different programs to make the sponsorship work for you as far as what you want to do with it. Because we are a seasonal business, it works out pretty fantastic. We have baseball, softball, soccer. Those are all kind of spring sports that really emphasize being outdoors, being in the grass, and they really have the ability to have those fields, to have banners, to have signs, where you don't really have to be involved in it. You don't have to have the time that you're going to put into that. It's kind of a set or forget if you're going to do banner display. The biggest thing with that is, you know, you're looking at sponsoring people's children and the activities that they really like to do, the activities that they're really passionate about. So it's something you can easily get behind. It's something that your consumers can easily get behind, and something that you're engaging in, you know, that part of your community that's, you know, the growth that's really deep and dear to a lot of people's hearts is fantastic. It makes you feel more of a family brand. which is really what we go for. We want to provide families with time to enjoy with each other. We want to provide that happy community where people are thriving in their environment. So this is a great way to show that Lawn Doctor supports all of that. It gets our values out there. It gets our mission statement out there. You definitely want to make sure that you have banners that are in high traffic areas. So if it is like a set of fields, what's the busiest street on those fields? Where are you going to get the most calls, the most leads from? Is it going to be on a scoreboard? We don't typically do a lot of fall sponsorships like football unless it's something in your area that's really, really high traffic. Or if it's going to be something that, like, in Texas, high school football is a huge thing. So, it may not drive your fall business entirely, but it's getting your name out there. I usually recommend, for areas that you do have large sports programs, even just taking your van there is not a bad thing, working out sponsorships of possibly giving free water bottles with our logo on it. There's different ways you can do those sponsorships. You can also do service sponsorships when it comes to that. So, I'm not saying take on a set of 10 fields to go ahead and service, but, if you're looking at, one field that you can make look really nice, baseball fields, they do want those looking really nice. That's kind of a trade-off you can do for banner as well, so you're not paying something right out of your pocket or out of your marketing funds. We can go on to the next slide, Miranda. And then we don't have to do just sports sponsorships when it comes to that. There's tons of local event sponsorships, especially recently. There's a lot of small fests kind of happening everywhere in all different communities, whether it be, around holidays, whether it be around something that your community is known for, a chili cook-off event, anything like that is a local event, and it's fun to sponsor those. We tend to try and steer away from being on a banner with about 50 other businesses because it's really hard to make sure that we're standing out. You can also do school programs, religious groups, fundraisers, like these are saying. With that being said, theater programs, music programs, they usually have their concerts and they have their advertisers within, and that's another way to support without, saying, oh, you're only going towards sports packaging, to really kind of get everyone in your community involved. With your religious groups, that's another great opportunity to try and trade services for sponsorship. Even if it's just a yard sign, they have a beautiful yard all around their building, around their campus, however that goes. It's just another way to get your name out there. When you're at a large event, when they're announcing who's sponsored, anything like that, having that host talk about Lawn Doctor in your community, especially if that host has your service already, that's a great way to go through with that. And then with fundraisers, I've had franchisees sponsor golf events. I've had franchisees sponsor, walkathons, anything like that. It's a great way to get out there, show that you really care, get that passion in the project. And that's the biggest thing is, sponsor the things that matter to you, sponsor the things that drive you, that really put yourself out there in a way that you're super comfortable. When you're doing the outdoor events, it really speaks to so much of what you're already doing. You're already outside every day. So when you're there, people are going to see, oh, okay, I didn't even consider this, or it's something that they don't always think of, but then they're outside and they're seeing this and they're like, oh, yeah, that's something to think of, especially if it's at a large park, anything like that. They're realizing what they're enjoying about being outdoors, being in the grass, being on the lawn. So there's definitely tons of opportunity to get in your community, get involved, and all of these are pretty low cost or just, you could be at that event or not. Sponsorships are a great way to save a little bit of time or spend some time. It's all about how you choose to do it. So definitely keep that in mind as you're going through your marketing programs. And I think that's it for me on sponsorships, Miranda.
Yep, great. Thanks, Tara. Okay, so the next community engagement tactic that I'm going to talk about that's also part of the marketing plan is joining local organizations. So the goal in the first year of business is to join 3 local organizations, one of them being the Chamber of Commerce, the other being a BNI chapter, and then another organization being like a specialty group
or another type of group in your area that you might already be a part of or something that you're interested in. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about each one of these. The Chamber of Commerce. So the Chamber of Commerce is a local organization within the community, and sometimes there will be either a local chamber that's by the towns that you service, or sometimes there's like a county chamber that make up a number of the local towns in the area. So the benefits of joining a chamber is that they're low in cost. So normally we see around $150 to $500 annually to join a chamber. Usually they have different levels, and then the benefits will increase based on the level that you sign up for. What I've seen a lot is that normally there's a small business level or like an entrepreneur level that sometimes will fall into that category, and they still provide a lot of the benefits that the next level will have, just because you all are a smaller business. It usually goes off the number of employees that you have. It gives you, the Chamber of Commerce will give you insight into the local area. So no other organization really knows locally what's going on as well as the Chamber of Commerce does. A lot of the times they work hand in hand with the city. They'll update their own calendar with all the activities that are happening in the entire city through the chamber. They also get involved a lot of the times locally with the city as well. It gives you the opportunity to connect with other established local business owners. So a lot of the times these chambers, which is what's important to us when we talk to franchise owners about joining a chamber, is that they have benefits for you. We don't want owners to just join the chamber just to say they belong to the chamber and have the badge on their website. We really want you to go out there and pick a local chamber that is going to be beneficial to you and that provides you with the opportunity to engage. So a lot of the times they'll have networking breakfasts, there'll be business card exchange events, they'll run business expos for all the businesses in the chamber. So those are the types of benefits that we are interested in, that we want to make sure that you would get through that partnership and becoming a member of that chamber. It gives you access to exclusive events or discounted rates. A lot of the times from when I do my event research, I'll also see that the local chambers are the ones that are throwing those events. And if you are a member, then you usually get a discounted booth rate. Sometimes if it's a chamber-thrown event, they won't even take other businesses to have a booth unless you are a part of that chamber. So that's just another benefit of being a member. The BNI. So we talk a lot about the BNI. The BNI stands for Business Networking International, and it's the world's largest referral organization for businesses. So the goal of joining the BNI is to increase your exposure to the other local businesses, but what's most important is that you utilize the BNI to gain and provide referrals, and it helps you as well as these other businesses that are part of the BNI grow your business. So some additional information on a BNI is time commitment. So normally a BNI chapter will have one meeting per week with mandatory attendance. Usually the meetings are about 60 to 90 minutes long, and they allow you 6 absences for that year. So sometimes you can send the substitute in your place so it doesn't count as an absence if you can't attend. So the BNI is really strict on members really engaging and really being a part of it. So that's why their meetings are required and they're mandatory. Only one person from each profession is allowed to join. So if you're interested in a chapter of the BNI, they provide a list of all the members. So you would want to look at that member list to make sure there isn't a competitor to us. Or when you attend a meeting to check out that chapter, they will tell you whether or not there is one. If there is somebody that offers the same services that we do, then we can't join that chapter. If for some reason there's only one chapter in your area and they already have a lawn care company, so we can't join that chapter, then we can go ahead and we can look at other business association options
as a replacement to a BNI if we run into that issue. You'll have to talk about yourself and your business. So like I said, one of the biggest benefits of joining a BNI is the referrals. So they're going to want you to get up there, talk about yourself, talk about the Lawn Doctor business. They're going to do the same about their businesses, and it just helps you understand what they do, what they're about, so you're comfortable referring them and vice versa. You'll get referrals and are expected to bring referrals. So it's required that you bring referrals when you go to the meetings, and all the other businesses are required to do the same. Where, when, and who is important to your success. So when you look at all the different chapters that are in your area, they all have a location of where those meetings take place every week and when they take place. That should be important to you, since these meetings are mandatory, that you pick a location that is something that works within your schedule, doesn't take you away from the rest of the work that you have to do for the day because you spend a lot of time in the car driving to get there if it's farther away. So you really want to consider that when looking at chapters. And who is the other members is important. So a lot of the times when you look at all the different chapters and the members that are in those chapters, it'll say what category that business falls in. So you can see if there's landscapers, roofers, if there's real estate agents. There's a lot of different types of businesses that I've seen that are part of BNI, but we try to look specifically at some of those businesses that we're going to benefit from. So landscapers that don't offer any services that we offer, roofers, painters, a real estate agent that you can get involved with, partner with, are all great other members that we would want to try to get involved with a chapter that those might be a part of, because it's just going to help you with referring them and them referring you. The cost is $400 to $800 on average per year to join the BNI. It tends to be higher than some of those other organizations like the Chamber or another local small organization that you join. But we also see that the leads are often higher quality, and that we also see a higher sales conversion rate when it comes to leads that come through a BNI. So franchisee success, as long as there's a chapter available with BNI, we will push new owners to join it. One of those reasons is because we've seen other franchisees have success with it. So we took a sample of just 10 of our new franchisees, that recently were part of the RAMP program that joined the BNI. And out of those 10, 9 of them had a closing rate between 63% and 85%. And the reason why that's so high is that most often these leads are not cold. The leads are coming from somebody that has a need for lawn care. They want a service that we offer, and since they know someone that referred us to them, makes them more interested in choosing us over another possible competitor in the area. Specialty groups. So besides joining a local chamber and joining a BNI, we also talk to franchisees about possibly joining a third organization for the year. But the third one is really open to something that you may already be a member of, something you're interested in. If we have some women owners and they want to get involved in some of the women business association groups that are out there, veterans, we have a lot of veteran owners that come in if they want to join an organization that's focused around veterans. We push that. A lot of times there'll be local organizations like Rotary clubs and Knights of Columbus, there's different things like that. We tell franchisees, that third one is kind of open. We have some franchisees that will join a second chamber if they don't have a specialty group that they're interested in, but they want to get involved in another local chamber because they have a number of cities that they own and they all have a local chamber. Then we'll tell them to consider joining a second. Again, as long as the benefits are there, we don't just want you to join just to say you joined 3. We really want you to join ones that are going to be beneficial to you and the business and have, a lot of the benefits that we're looking for. Community events. So the third tactic that I'm going to talk about that's part of the marketing plan is joining community events. participating in community events. So the goal in year one is to get involved with 4 to 6 events for the year. What I like to see is once we sort of get into the spring season, even into summer and to fall until it kind of tapers off a bit, is to try and have franchisees get involved in one community event a month. It just really keeps you out there, active in the community, meeting people, especially if you own different towns. You can do one event a month in one area, then the next month focus on another area. We really just want you to get out there, get involved, and grow your presence. I see franchisees that participate in community events do better than those that don't get involved. So it's really important for me and the rest of the team to kind of push you guys to really get out there and just get involved as much as you can. Specifically for community events, so Tara had spoken a little bit about how you can sponsor a local event. When we talk about attending community events, I mean specifically going to something that's happening in the community that there's a booth available for you to have. So we want you to be able to get out there to create brand awareness. We want you to be able to establish a presence. Your business is part of the neighborhood. So that goes back to supporting, the community that supports you. You're a new business, you're opening your doors, you're getting ready to get out there on homeowners' properties. We really want the Lawn Doctor brand to get out there as soon as we can. And one of the best ways to do that is to get you out on the streets in the community meeting people. Some other benefits is makes a connection with potential consumer face-to-face, builds relationships with other local businesses. Sometimes at these events, you'll be next to another business that you can start to talk to about maybe a B2B opportunity. So attending community events does open some other doors instead of just, B2C relationships. It'll open some business-to-business relationship opportunities. It provides an opportunity to meet a lot of people and generate a higher volume of leads. So when you attend community events, especially if it's like a big home show, you may get a higher number of leads through the traffic that's going to flow through those events that you would through some of the other marketing tactics that we push out for you guys in that first year. Types of community events. So home and garden shows is a big one that we look at. We want to find events that are really within your territory. So for the home and garden shows, we really try to focus in on those that are happening either in your territory or slightly outside, just so you can see the return on your investment for these events. And that is really the case for all of the events. So when I do any research on events and when you guys are looking at it locally, it's really important to make sure that you really try to find those that are in the territory. So for we have home and garden shows, we have business expos, we have franchisees participate in spring festivals, community fairs, holiday parades and events around like Memorial Day, 4th of July. We've had franchisees that get involved in St. Patrick's Day parades, Mardi Gras parades. We have done a lot of different creative events for ways for franchisees to push the brand out there. Movies in the park, concerts in the park, and outdoor dog events. So that's a brief list, on the different types of community events that a franchisee can participate in. Again, the goal is to get you there at a booth, at a table, in a space, being able to be there physically and promote. Sometimes it's like movies in the park or concerts in the park. A lot of the times they'll either just allow us to be a sponsor by having like a sign there or a giveaway. But in some cases, if we talk to them about it, they might let us, be there with the table for the duration of the event promoting. So those are the types of opportunities you want to keep in mind and look around for. We look here at Lawn Doctor for the different types of events that are taking place, but you guys know sometimes a lot better because you'll be out there and you'll be seeing banners and signs for things that are taking place. So definitely keep your eyes and ears for anything that's going on. So what to look for, events within your territory, well-attended events. A lot of the times
these events will have either taken place before, so they can give you an attendance. Sometimes they can tell you where the attendees pull from. So with a home show, if it's taking place in a bigger city, they could tell you, the percentage of people that pull from that main city and then surrounding cities, which is just good information to have, so you can go in sort of with a mindset of the types of consumers that are going to be coming through and where possibly they're going to come from. Look for opportunities where you can exhibit with a booth space or a table, and events that are applicable to services we offer. So if you offer Yard Armor, that opens up some dog-focused or animal-focused events that we can take a look at. It opens up some other relationships. So if you do seeding, then you can look more into some of the fall events focused around the feeding service, aeration services. So we really look at all that and work through that with you guys in this first year to pick some of those best events that are going to be most beneficial to you. Making your event successful. So these are just some bullet points on what makes your event successful, but we also have a community standard operating procedure guide that, if it has not been given to you, it will be given to you, that is basically gives all the information to you about an event, how to prepare for an event, the types of events that you should look for, what to do leading up to the event, what to do the day of the event, and then post-event follow-ups and procedures. So it's really just a great guide for you as you go through the year and you continue to do events and carry those events into next year and so on, is that you have this guide to help you prepare for that. But some bullet points on making your event successful. You want to hand out marketing flyers with an offer and promo items to give away. You want to draw attendees to your booth, and usually we do that through a giveaway, free lawn chair for a year. We'll have franchisees either have a game going on or a prize giveaway, just a way to really increase traffic to the booth. Understand that lead generation is the main focus. If you're manning the booth by yourself, we tell franchisees to really focus on lead generation. Talk to as many people as you can. You don't want to get caught up talking to one person for too long, because then you're missing the traffic of all the other potential leads. So we really want franchisees to focus on that lead generation. If you are manning the booth yourself, but then you can have someone else come there to help, one person, two people. Ideally we'd like to see 2 to 3 people in a booth with you to help facilitate. You can have somebody talking to the leads, having them come over to fill out for the giveaway, and you can have another person possibly selling on the spot to a consumer that might be interested in signing up that day. So having more than one person will allow you to do that. Capture all your leads inside and out of your territory, and you can sort through them at a later time. So there will be events that you most likely will get some leads out of territory, and then under your discretion you choose to service them or not. Or if it's for another franchise location, we then ask you to send those over to them. If the event allows you to bring equipment, consider doing so. There are great talking points. Attendees are interested in what our machines do, so that's another just kind of great incentive to have at your event. If doing an event is family-focused, provide activities for the kids. So a lot of times we look at family-focused events. That's because they gather families that own homes. So sometimes we just like to gear something at our booth towards kids, so you can spend time talking to the parents. Event materials. So this just shows you some of the pieces that we send to franchisees. So you guys own your own event kits. This shows you the banners that you all have in your event kits. So they're local. They talk to different lawn care issues. We have one that's marketing focused, and then we have one that's focused around Yard Armor. And then we send a tablecloth, and we send some mini tabletop banners as well. Promotional items, we have a promotional online store where you can go and order promotional items. If you recently came through and
are recently opening your business, I have sent you promotional items as part of that startup marketing fund. And then when you run out and you want to refill, that's when you'll access our online promotional store, which is through Coretta. So if you've seen Coretta, that is who runs that online store for us. The next slide just shows you some images of some of our franchisees out there in the community getting involved, local events. You could see some of their setups. Some of them bring the machine. We also, in the community SOP, we will guide you on sort of how to set up your booth to make it more welcoming for attendees when they're passing by. So all of that is built into that community SOP that you have. Some next steps, so sponsorships and organizations, next steps, keep an eye out and share any potential finds that you have with the Lawn Doctor team. And at the same time, the Lawn Doctor RAM team is also doing their research. We're looking at sponsorship opportunities. We're looking for organizations for you to join. We're going to share that information with you, and we ask that you do the same with us. Some notes, the payments, we use the marketing fund where we can. When franchisees are out there and they want to pay for something on the spot, they go ahead and do that, and then they send reimbursements to Tara at a later time. We ask that you check with us before committing to a sponsorship. We want to make sure that we're helping you the best that we can and supporting you through this whole process as well. So we really, just want to take a look at what it is that you are looking to participate in so we can help give you just our advice and help guide you. BNI next steps. So BNI, they're just a little more, specific on the local owner being involved. So the RAM team will send you some initial research on those BNI chapters and ones that we recommend. And then we want the franchisees to do the same. We want you to get out and look at the BNI site, look at the different groups, the different members that are a part of it. Make your own list of the ones that you're interested in joining based on the date and the time that they take place. And then the franchisee would go ahead and contact that leader of that group to let them know that you're interested in sitting in on a meeting. And then you would go attend that meeting. And at that point, the BNI, if you come back and you say you want to join it, the BNI would then, they do like a board review and then sort of like a board review approval process. Most of the times we don't see any issues other than if there's a competitor already in the group. It's just the process that they have. So that'll go through the application process, and then once that's done, then you'd be a member. Again, joining one BNI group is part of the marketing plan, so as long as there's one there that's beneficial, we want you to be a part of that. And then we ask that you just inform us of any organizations that you join and any BNI chapters that you join. Community event next steps, similar to sponsorships, we ask that you kind of just keep an eye out for what's happening in the community. Anything that you see that you're wondering if there's a vendor booth opportunity available, or you may already know of events that are taking place that you want to make sure that you are a part of this year, just send them over to the RAM team so we can look more into that for you. And then the RAM team at the same time is already researching. We reach out to the local chambers, to the local city, to the Parks and Rec departments, community event centers to find out what's happening. So we'll be doing that kind of simultaneously with you. Some notes on community events, registration and payments handled the same way. If you want us to handle it through the fund up front, we do that. Or if you want to do it direct and use the reimbursement process, we can do that as well. We work with the franchisees on marketing materials, promotional items. We'll hold a kickoff call prior to that first event. And then as the year goes on, you get more comfortable with it, and the kickoff call isn't as necessary. But at least for the first event, we want to really make sure that you're ready for it, you have all the tools that you need. We've reviewed that SOP guide together to make sure that you're just fully prepared for it. And again, participate in one event a month where possible. Before I unmute everyone, open up for questions, you'll see at the bottom the RAM team contacts for community engagement. So if you have sponsorships that you want to send, over for us to review, you want to sign up for something, you need something for your sponsorship, Tara would be your contact. And then our organizations and community events, if there's an organization you've already joined, definitely let us know. And if there's any that you want us to look into for you regarding organizations and events, you would reach out to myself and Gabriella Cameron, who is also on our RAMP team. I am going to unmute everyone to take questions. And if Maria, you have
The conference has been unmuted.
Perfect. Yeah, great job. Any questions for Miranda or Tara, anybody? About anything, sponsorships, organizations, community events. Of course, if you think of questions later, you can always email them, call them, whatever you guys need. Any questions? All right. Well, it doesn't seem like anyone has questions. We really appreciate you guys joining us today. Keep in mind, if you guys think of questions or you need any assistance, you're welcome to, like I said, email Tara, Miranda, or Gabriella, and go from there. Now, just a couple reminders. You guys keep an eye out on Monday for an additional email from myself regarding community events. And keep in mind as well, the next webinar will be January 25th. That will also be on a Friday. It will be at noon, but I will be sending you guys a bunch of emails like I did this time, so keep an eye out for those. Again, thank you for joining us. We will now release you guys. You guys are all free to go.
Have a happy Friday.
Happy Friday, you all.
Thanks, Maria. Thanks, Miranda. Thanks, Bob.
Bye. Thanks. Happy Friday, guys.
Happy